So hello and welcome back to Limitless You Talk with me, Katie. Now I am here today to talk about something that I find or have found going through my own journey with self-development, personal growth, professional growth, brand, own business, all of that sort of stuff, is becoming obsessed about it. Now, I mean becoming obsessed about it in the way in which I think that if I'm not obsessed about my personal growth or the goals that I have, the outcomes that I want to achieve, the visualisations that I have about my visualising of becoming a runner, of going alcohol free, like all of the sort of things that I've spoke to you about and we've shared in our conversations in the past, I've become obsessed about it. Now, I'm not saying that I've become obsessed to the point where I don't do anything else, that I'm very clouded in my judgment with it, all of that sort of thing. I'm just saying that I'm obsessed by it because it's a priority, because it's really, really important to me. I believe I deserve where I am and where I want to be, and if I'm not obsessed about it, I'm not going to give it my all. I'm not going to progress in the way that I want. I'm not going to achieve the goals that I want. I'm not going to follow through with the visualisations that I have, and I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be fulfilled, and that's what, for me, the justification is in becoming obsessed. Now, why am I talking to you about it? Because I just sound as if I'm telling you all about myself. Yeah, partly I am, because I'm telling you that you need to be obsessed. See, whatever you've got in your mind, like whatever you're like, I want to achieve this, or I would like to go and do that next year, or next year is going to be the year of being my fittest and healthiest self. Yeah, that's fine. But we all start by talking about it. But the difference is not all of us follow through with it. So that's why you have to be like, right, if I am going to be the fittest and healthiest version of myself, I have to be obsessed about it. Everything else has to fit into my life to allow me to be able to do that. Now, that sounds as if I'm giving you a route about it. It sounds as if I'm being matter of fact about it and there's not like life that gets in the way, all of that. But to a point, there's things that you can't control that are external factors that we've spoken about before. There's a lot of things that you can control. So if I put it in my context, for example, I am obsessed and I have this visualisation that I've shared with you that I want to become a runner. That I want to be the fittest and healthiest version of myself. I want to be, and I've quoted, quick as fuck 5k, because to me that means like as quick as anything, and I've had to go really serious about how I say it, and I've got to use a swear word, apologies dad, to really emphasise that I really, really want it. So for me, I have got to invest in the right books. So for me, it's like mindset books, it's being around people books, it's learning how to be around people, how to say no, how to put myself in the right environments, how to have the correct conversations, how to prioritise my sleep, prioritise what I eat, what I put fuel in my body, prioritise when I train. I'm doing 5 training sessions per week at the moment, where I'm best in the day to do those training sessions, making sure that I drink enough fluids, making sure I rest my body, making sure that I go and get physio on a regular basis to make sure my body is as good as it can be. It's very sore, but it's as good as it can be. So I'm looking at YouTube videos, I'm Googling about like, how can I be a better runner? I've got a problem right now with a stitch when I run, but it's just because my endurance levels are being really, really challenged because I'm trying to go up those levels. And I'm irritated by getting a stitch every time that I run right now. So I'm Googling, I've bought a couple of new books, I've bought a book on mobility because I want that to be better because I know the stitch will disappear if I'm better at my mobility. I've got a baseline of mobility but it can be so much better. So I have become obsessed. I have become, some people like to say, oh, I'm addicted to that. Yeah, you can be addicted to binge watching a TV programme, or like that. It's not really an addiction, you have to be careful with the words that you used, but you can become obsessed with binge watching that TV programme. So if you put that obsession that you have per se, right, and you put it into becoming the fittest and healthiest version of yourself, you're actually going to be in a better position to do that. You're going to be in the driver's seat, you're not going to be in the passenger seat, you're not going to be in the back seat of the boot, you're going to be in the driver's seat to make sure that that can happen. Like me, I am right now driving the car to make sure that I can get to where I want to be. Now, I will tell you right now, 2 years since I got into the coaching programme that I'm in just now. So I got into that in March of 2022, and I fully was embraced in the physical fitness industry in May 2022. And it's taken me to January of 2024, into April 2024 to really have a click of the button, a light switch moment, a light bulb moment going off in my head, to playing at it, to actually becoming obsessed about it. And I'm not obsessed because of the way that I'm going to look. Not obsessed if I never get a six pack. I don't care. I am obsessed of achieving the impossible. That Katie, that suffered with depression and had a mental breakdown and was having really, really dark thoughts, that she never imagined that she would be in a position today for me to stand here, because she would never believe that that would be possible. So I owe it to her in her darkest moments to be like, you can do this, Katie. You're doing it for what is an amazing reason. I'm doing it for her. So for me, I have to become obsessed about it. I think, I don't know personal opinion here, but I honestly, genuinely believe that we should all become obsessed about looking after ourselves. I think it should be mandatory. I think it should be something that we don't challenge, that we don't use as an excuse. And I think it's something that you should be doing every single day of your life. I think you should, if you think about it, right, if you become obsessed about being yourself, you walk into your work environment, you be around your friends, you be the parent you need to be for your child, you be the sister you need to be, the aunt you need to be, anything you need to be, you're going to be much better at being it. It's kind of like going from being limited to limitless. The world is your oyster at that point because you are a better version of yourself. And for me, it comes down to a couple of points. It's, what do you want? If we want to be the fittest and healthiest versions of ourselves, again, we're fine, we're good at talking about it, but you need to action it. You actually need to follow through with it. It's like that expression, fur coat, no knickers. You can have the fur coat, but if you don't have the knickers to go with the fur coat, you're going to be freezing cold, and you're never going to get to where you need to be. So you need to become obsessed by being it. You need to turn up. You need to turn up when you don't want to. So many times in the last month, I have not wanted to do my gym sessions. A few times I've really talked myself into doing it, and that's just because I've gained that awareness. I've gained that level where I can do that, but I never used to do it before. I used to be the first person to justify why I didn't, because I was called out about it. I've never done it since, and I didn't like being called out about it, but it changed my narrative. It changed my mindset. You have to earn the right to become obsessed though, and this is where, I don't know, some people could say it's controversial, I don't know. But if you're someone that starts a diet on a Monday, or starts saying, right, I'm going to go to the gym on a Monday, and by the Wednesday it's out the window and you'll start again the following week, you'll never become obsessed. Your only obsession is that you're good at talking the talk, but never ever walking the walk. And when I know plenty of people like that, and every time they say it, I switch off. I'm not interested. Because it's the same conversation, it's the same crap that I'm hearing, it's the same drivel, Scottish word, same drivel. So it's the same nonsense basically, for anybody that's not Scottish listening to it. It's like, it's a lot of nonsense. You're more obsessed, see if you actually put the effort into being obsessed about what you're doing, than being obsessed about talking about it. You'd actually be way further ahead. You'd have lost a couple of pounds, you would have hit the goal if you wanted to run a 5k, you would have actually done it by now. So you've actually wasted your own time, wasted my time because I've had to listen to you, and wasted plenty of other people's time. I'm sure they've had to listen to you as well. So think about it. If you were to stand in front of the mirror right now and go, what do I want in my life? Okay, I want to be a runner. I want to be that runner. But for me to be a runner, I do have to sacrifice some things. I have to learn to say no. I have to really prioritise. I have to really dig deep when I don't want to. And I have to be obsessed about it. But how can I be obsessed about it? Well, I have to learn what it takes. Not what it takes when it's a good day, but what it takes when it's a bad day. When I don't feel like doing it. Because that's where the obsession comes from. It becomes a lifestyle. And some people are like, oh yeah, but you're just wasting your life. Like, why don't you want to go and do this and that thing? Listen, if you become obsessed with something, I'm saying, now, me becoming a runner could be that I run in another country. It could well be. I'm on board up here that I want to run a half marathon in 2025, but I want to run it abroad. And it's purely just because I can get a city break out of it that I've got on my list. I can do the half marathon, so I've got something to work towards. And I'm getting to see a city. I'm maybe getting to see a city that I've never ever been to before. So why not make it a part of my lifestyle? Why is it a part of my lifestyle? Makes me happy. I don't go to clubs. I don't drink any longer. So I want to do something that ties in with what I value, what makes me happy. I can see the world a bit because I fought so hard to be able just to go away from home. So that, the benefits of me becoming obsessed with all this has made so much better a difference to my life. And it can do to you as well. But if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but I can't become obsessed or I can't do this, you can. Change the attitude of I can't to I can. It's like, do you know what? I'm going to become obsessed this weekend by going out for a walk on Saturday and a walk on Sunday. The weather's to be chilly, it's winter right now. You know, hat, scarf and gloves, we've all got them. I'm going to go out and I'm going to walk for a coffee. I'm going to walk both days. You're further ahead than the person that chose to sit in and become obsessed with the binge watching and the Netflix that they were doing. That's the difference. You can take that into your Monday attitude of starting to be fit and healthy. And by Wednesday you keep it going. And if you do it for a week, you're 7 days into that habit of becoming obsessed. Then you could be 14 days. Then you could be 21 days. By day 90, I promise you the difference is going to be incredible. But you have to do it. That's the message in all of this. It's fine me talking about being obsessed, of, you know, you deserve it, that I deserve it. But if you don't do it, if you don't do it every time you don't want to do it, if you let it consume you rather than you take charge of it, then it's going to win every single time. There is people in the world today that have every intention of starting the year or starting the week by making better choices for themselves, getting into better behaviours, and they are still years away from that because they're in this vicious circle of talking shite and not doing anything about it. Because they're in this circle and in this mind of, we'll do this today, we'll do that next week, we'll do this. They start it, never finish it. Never finish it. So they're never going to become obsessed with anything. I always think there's like people like that, like, what's their house like? What's their cleaning like? What's their toilet like? Is it clean? Because I can't help but think that. Because if you're not obsessing about your own self-care, your own self-development, then what the hell is the other factors of your life like? See? It all relates. And you deserve it. Every single one of you listening to this conversation right now deserves it. I have worked so hard to be in a position where I can be like, please, 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 let's make sure that you can be obsessed, because I know that as soon as that clicks for you, that obsession, you're going to be in the best possible place that you could ever imagine. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't mean that you go to the gym. It just means that you can go for a walk outside. That instead of having a takeaway every week, you decide to do a fakeaway. You know, you're having some self-care. You're not binge watching every Saturday. Beat all your crisps and chocolates and everything, and you're like, right, okay, let's go for a walk. Let's get a coffee. Let's get some fresh air. I'm obsessed about it, and it just makes your life more fulfilled. You can make memories with it. You can be more beneficial to your life, and you can have longevity in your life. Because as a funeral director, I want nothing more than for someone to have a long life. So in that time that, you know, a funeral director is needed, or, you know, I am needed in that role that I do, the person that's taking your funeral service, if you decide to have one, has so many good things to say about you. So many things. And they can spread it on to the next generation or anyone in attendance. Like, that's where it all connects for me. So I'm going to leave you with this, like, knowing that you can become obsessed right now, right this second, about what it is you want to achieve. A, doesn't take much. B, it takes you to follow it through when you don't want to. And C, the day that you don't want to and you still push yourself through and do it, you are one step closer to the obsession, and you are another step closer to being your best self. And that is what you deserve. It's what your levels of happiness deserve. It's your levels of fulfillment for you, your family, for whatever. That is what you need to strive for, from limited to limitless, because that's what you are. You are your superpowered self. So become obsessed about it. Become obsessed about it. But before I go, I just want to say thank you very, very much. I hope you are obsessed with my podcast as much as you're obsessed with your journey of self-development to be your best self. So as usual, just if you could follow if you're listening even on Spotify, please follow. Please tell your friends and family all about it. Get them to listen if there's anything that you've taken away from it, or if you're watching on YouTube. Both are found at Limitless You Talk. And again, if you could subscribe on YouTube, that would be absolutely fantastic. Now remember, you are your incredible self, and thank you so much for sharing our conversation today, and I will speak to you in the next one.